You didn't know what you're doing. You were just trying to understand how to sell your stuff on Amazon.
I didn't know anything about e-commerce, didn't know anything about Amazon, didn't know anything about anything. I knew that I know how to create a supplement at home, mix it, like that's it. And I understood like fitness, but I did not know marketing, did not know finance, didn't know accounting, didn't know anything. The plan was I'm gonna mix this stuff at home and I'm gonna package it and send it to Amazon myself.
Hello to everyone and welcome to our Ecom Business Stream Podcast. And today on our new episode will be one of my good friends and one of the great Amazon sellers, which is already done it for several years. He's doing for this kind of business model since 2018. His name is Mina Elias, and so far Mina is a multiple seven-figure seller on the supplement industry and using Amazon exactly for that kind of scaling brands on such kind of industries where he is able to bring that to the next level because of his amazing experience and huge knowledge on the chemical industry, on all the previous brands which he has been scaled. Now he's dominated the market on PPC, Amazon, exactly on such kind of direction. I really want to hear how they are doing that. And plus, he's the founder of Trivium Group. It's an Amazon advertising agency which is helping several entrepreneurs out there to understand how exactly to dominate the space. And he has spoken already on the several major e-commerce and Amazon stages where he was sharing all the knowledge with the audiences, plus was able to consult over 400 brands and consulted 3 huge aggregators, which is worth over $1.2 billion. So he exactly knows what he's speaking when it's about Amazon and the supplement industry. And really exciting to speak to you today. Mina, what's up? How is that going for you?
Good, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the podcast. I know this was a long time coming, and so thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we planned it a while ago. It's just huge gaps on the schedule, but definitely I'm excited to hear. And I will be just sharing to the guys first speech of Mina I have seen in Agency Founder. He was a speaker there. He was sharing a lot of golden nuggets about LinkedIn lead gen for Amazon and a lot of other things which is help me understand how to structure some of my departments in my company, even it's e-commerce, not Amazon itself. So I really wondering to hear more about you, about your journey, and especially what's make you such a great expert on this industry, because definitely if someone who is listening us, it major of people, it's e-commerce, dropshipping and Shopify brands owners, but definitely there is someone who is already in Amazon or want to jump into the Amazon, so you'll be share with us all these pluses and minuses, what they have to be prepared for. Sounds good?
Amazing, man. Love it. Yeah, I think that's a good agenda for today. Now obviously, I run Trivium Group, which is an Amazon advertising agency. I think as of today, we have 135 brands that we do, ads for on Amazon. But it didn't start there. I actually never intended to have an agency. So I came to America in 2011. I, got my bachelor's, master's, graduated top of my class, worked up the corporate ladder. I was in Medtronic surgical devices. Then I, switched jobs, to get higher and higher, better pay, all of that stuff. You know how it is. And in 2018, I was sick and tired of my life. I was waking up 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym, then to go to work, 45 minutes driving to work for 9 hours, boring, engineering, project management stuff, drive 45 minutes back, and then, do some MMA training and then sleep. And I hated my life. I'm like, man, I worked so hard. I graduated top of my class, two degrees, bachelor degrees, 1 master's degree. What's the point of all this? So I can be like a slave, essentially. You know what I mean?
No life.
Yeah, so I decided to start a supplement brand. Mainly, it was through a conversation with my dad. I was on vacation, and I was buying 6 different ingredients of supplements and mixing them at home. So I would buy different ingredients and 1 base supplement, and I would supercharge the supplement basically. And he's asking me, he's like, why are you buying all these different products and stuff? And I told him, I'm like, well, this is the product, and the clinical dosage of this ingredient is this much, so I need to buy it in its own form and add it more, and the clinical dosage of this is that. because I'm very passionate about supplements, and ever since I was a kid, like I loved like supplements. I love taking supplements. I love working out, and so he's like, why don't you make your own supplement? And I'm like, is it even possible to have a supplement brand? I thought you have to be like a very large company and cost $100,000, all of this stuff, And I looked, and I'm like, well, if I bought the ingredients, the raw ingredients plus the packaging and the labeling, it would cost me $5, including a $1 per unit labor cost. So I'm like 60 units an hour. I was like, this is $5. I can sell it for 30 because the average price online, like Amazon, whatever, was 30. And I'm like, seems like I can make money here. So I decided to buy the ingredients, mix them up, test them on my friends, test them on myself. Everyone said, "Oh man, this is it was an electrolyte supplement," and everyone said, "Man, I'm feeling the difference. I'm working out harder. I'm able to go longer." And this was all in MMA. So I'm like, okay, I think I have something. I started the supplement brand, and basically, like the reason that I got it on Amazon was because I didn't understand anything about e-commerce. And in the 30 days leading up to the decision to do Amazon, I went to different gyms and different stores, tried to get my product there. Everyone denied me. I felt like this is like when something is like okay, even like a small success, I'm like, okay, I just need something to give me but it's like zero, like 100% rejection rate, 0% conversion. So I said, I don't think this is going to work. I'm buying all of my supplements on Amazon. So what if I got this one on Amazon? Let me figure it out. I called Amazon, I like researched whatever.
You didn't know what you're doing. You were just trying to understand how to sell your stuff on Amazon, correct?
I didn't know anything about e-commerce, didn't know anything about Amazon, didn't know anything about anything. I knew that I know how to create a supplement at home, mix it, like that's it. I'm a good like chemist basically, and I understood like fitness, but I did not know marketing, did not know finance, didn't know accounting, didn't know anything. So I'm like, how hard can it be? I'll figure it out. So I called Amazon, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll get you an account, all this stuff. They sent me an email. I filled it out. They asked me for like CGMP and certificate of analysis and all invoice. So then I went to a manufacturer and I said, hey, listen, like, can you get me a quote? Okay, cool. Pricing looks good. But I need your CGMP, your invoice, and your certificate of analysis, or else, we can't work together. So he sent me all that stuff, and I sent it to Amazon, and Amazon approved it. Actually, they denied it like 4 times, and then they approved it the 5th time. And I'm like, perfect. Like, we're good to go now. So I got an account. And I'm like, okay, like the plan was I'm going to mix this stuff at home and I'm going to package it and send it to Amazon myself. But then I'm like, you know what? This is probably like, let me try like one last thing. I called the person that I was buying the raw ingredients from. I'm like, can you mix it for me? They're like, yeah, we can mix it. And it was, 5 ingredients. So they started mixing for me and packaging, and I would send them the packaging and they would just fill it up.
How much they were taking for that?
They were $5 per unit.
Now, even for packaging?
For everything, with the ingredients and everything.
No way, even That's cool, okay. Sometimes it's really great to ask question, yeah? Just ask question.
Because I quoted all these different contract manufacturers. MOQ, 1,000 units. $8, $12, $9, all of these. And I'm like, I can't afford this, man. I don't have $8,000 in the bank. I had like $2,000, maybe $1,500 in the bank. And I had a credit card. Then this guy, he's like, yeah, minimum order quantity 100 units. I'm like, oh, he's like, but if you want like the first one, we can do 50. I said, wow, okay, it's sold, man, let's do it. So my first order was 100 units. I got it on Amazon, and I'm like, between the manufacturing and getting on Amazon, I'm like, how does Amazon work? Like, how is it gonna sell? And I like watched every single YouTube video, listened to every single podcast, read every single article. And I'm like, okay, it seems like something to do with Amazon PPC, the advertising, pay-per-click advertising, and reviews. So I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. When the time comes, I'm gonna message every person that I know ever, including like my exes, everyone, and I'm gonna ask them to buy the product, and I'll Venmo them the money, and then I'll ask them for a review. And then on the PPC side, I'm like, I'll just start some campaigns and put some numbers and we'll see how it goes. And so I started spending like $100 a day from the beginning. Initially, like I was making like maybe like $60 in sales, whatever, mainly from my friends who are buying.
And you have to return money to them, as you said.
And I was paying them money. Yeah. So I was losing money initially, but then it got to a point like I was spending 100, making 100, spending 100, making 200. And then as the reviews grew, my conversion rate obviously improved and all of this stuff, but I didn't know any of this stuff. But I'm like, you know what, man, there's two things that I know is working right now: my advertising and reviews. So the reviews, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep everyone I meet. Anatoliy, hey man, like here's a link to my product. Like I think you're gonna like it. Like I'll give you the money. Here's your Venmo, $20. Buy it and let me know how you like it. And then hey, here's a link to leave a review. Please leave a review. And then on the PPC, I'm like, I have to figure this thing out. So I start like, looking and obviously I get hit with the good SEO of PPC agencies and PPC software companies. And they start like, oh my God, like our software has this patented technology that's going to do blah, 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 and they're going to explode your sales. And then I got screwed over by a few agencies and software and whatever. And I'm like, man, I need to figure this out myself. But anyways, like 6 months into starting the supplement brand, I got fired from my job. They figured out like I'm don't give a fuck anymore about the job, so they fired me. And I'm like, okay, I was making $4,000 a month in profit.
Let it be.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I'm like, should I get another job or this? And I'm like, you know what? Let me try, and if I lose it all, I'll just get another job and I'll go back to the shit that I was in. But anyways, like this is not a life I want. So like, let's try something different. Maybe this is something better, I packed all, canceled my lease on my apartment, packed all my stuff, sold everything, filled up my car, left my car in church, and then I flew back to Egypt to stay with my grandma. And I stayed there 4 months. I was paying $500 a month in bills. $500 a month. I covered food, going out, gym.
Yeah, Egypt could be covered all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so 3,500, I was putting it back into the business, reinvesting.
How was managing on Egypt for you? Any kind of problems in terms of Amazon, IP or whatever? Or no problems, it's fine?
No, just a slower internet. That's it. Slower internet, which kind of was really annoying. But besides that, like I was now putting in like 8 hours a day, full time, fully focused on my business. And this is 8 hours of computer time. And then like another, like, let's say 4 hours of, being on my phone, researching stuff, thinking, listening to I would have about a 25-minute walk to the gym and a 25-minute walk back every day, every morning. And so I would do a podcast at 1.5x speed, one podcast there, one podcast back, one YouTube video there, one YouTube video back. And I was just like nonstop, fully obsessed with this thing. But around that time in July, when I was in Egypt, so I launched my brand in November of 2018, and then I was fired end of April 2019, and then by July of 2019. So here's the funny thing. Remember how I told you I got screwed over? And I decided to take things take like action and take over PPC myself, Amazon advertising. So April 30th, the day that I was fired, there was an Amazon event in New York City. And so they fired me at 12 p.m. and I went home and I told my roommates, I'm like, guys, I just got fired. And then at like 3 p.m. I drove to New York City, 2 hours, to attend a meetup by Amazon. The founder of Casper, or the head of marketing of Casper, the mattress company, was there, and a bunch of people from Amazon. And so during that time, I was like learning everything I can about Amazon PPC. And so when I showed up to the like event, I'm like, oh, they have reps from Amazon in Seattle. I'm 100% gonna figure this shit out. So I go and I talk to the rep, like she's an Amazon advertising representative, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, can I ask you some questions about Amazon advertising? I want to give you my strategy. Tell me if it's good or bad. Like imagine you're telling someone like a Facebook ads rep, okay, we're gonna have broad audiences, 6 different creatives, split test, something like that. So I went to her, I said, okay, listen, this is what I do. I'm gonna launch auto campaigns. I'm gonna separate the auto campaigns, close match, loose match. Then I'm gonna take my main keywords and broad and then extract them and launch it. And like, what do you think about that? And she's like, like this. This was the reaction. And I'm like, okay, what else can I do? She's like, you could try going broader. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like the moment you realize, like, shit, like I'm on my own. This, like, when you go to the doctor and you're like, hey man, like I have these issues, and he's like, yeah man, like I think you're doing everything you can. You're like, shit, like I have to figure this out on my own. This was the feeling.
It's with Facebook rep exactly the same. Yeah, you want answers, but there is like.
I thought that I was gonna go to this person and I was gonna get all the answers I was looking for, and it turns out that I knew more than them. And
exactly.
At this point,
they're not advertisers.
Yeah, the mindset shifted, and I'm like, you're on your own. Like this is like uncharted waters, basically, and everyone out there is bullshitting and they don't know what they're talking about. And there's so many gurus out there and all of this stuff. Like you just have to figure this shit on your own. Like I'm sorry, like. Because maybe some other person figured it out, but they figured it out for their own brand, which is like a wallet brand or a house, kitchen brand, whatever.
Different specific,
right? But this is a supplement brand. Yeah, and back then there was very few supplement brands native on Amazon. There was a lot of brands that are like big branded and they're selling on Amazon. So when you talk to them, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we just do, an auto campaign. And I'm like, because I would meet some brand owners, supplement brand owners, the one nutrition, like the protein bar. And he's like, yeah, we have auto campaigns and like branded campaigns. And I'm like, what? Like, this is no strategy. There's nothing. So those guys were really big because they were spending $1 million a month or something like that off of Amazon, in advertising. So like I couldn't learn from them. The ones that were crushing it on Amazon, like back in 2018, who were Amazon native brands, you couldn't find them. They were black hat, like getting reviews, had all these funnels and all of this stuff. So I was basically trying to figure this stuff on my own and trying to do as white hat as possible, besides like the review stuff. And that's when I decided to kind of like, okay, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to figure this out on my own. And around July, when I was in Egypt, people started asking questions in Facebook. How do you structure an auto campaign? Like, how many ad groups should I do? Stuff like that. And I had learned all this the hard way because I did three ad groups, and I noticed that the budget would split unevenly. I would do one ad group, I would notice the performance 10 times better. So I started answering in all the different Facebook groups that I was in, because when I started Amazon, I didn't know shit. So I'm like, I'm going to go into all the Facebook groups and live inside them and ask. I was asking like 2 questions a day minimum when I started. So I'm like, okay, it's time for me to give back. And I saw a lot of these questions come up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start answering. I'm going to put videos up to explain some of the concepts. Auto campaign, broad, phrase, exact. And dude, after I did that, I like blew up. People were like, oh my God, like Mina, he's the king of like advertising. And I'm like, guys, I didn't do anything. I'm just telling you like what I experienced. Like I tested 3 ad groups. I tested the one and I found that one is better than 3 because of this. And you guys can try it too. That's literally what I would do. And I'd be like, I launched an auto campaign and then I found out that this is the keywords that they're targeting. And some of them are good, some of them are bad. I added negatives of the bad ones and now I have a good campaign. Whoa, shit. Like it was crazy because these people, like they didn't know anything and I knew something. So that's how I like started getting big. And then 2020 rolls around, right? So November of 2019, which is now I'm 1 year in. 2018 I launched on Amazon. 2019 I flew back. I was doing about 8 to 10K a month in profits, and I moved to Los Angeles. 3 months later, COVID hits, and I'm stuck at home. I'm like, okay, what is there to do? Gyms are closed, the beaches are closed, the parks are closed. You can't, like, there's literally nothing you can do. I'm like, let's go online. Let's check what's going on. I'm going to start getting on podcasts like this. Exactly. And I'm like, okay, I would get on a podcast and like I would say like, here's who I am, here's what I do, and I spend 30 minutes like explaining stuff that I'm doing. Here's how I optimize my bids in Amazon PPC. I download the bulk sheet, highlight everything, sort and filter, choose only keywords, product targets. I'll sort by ROAS, highlight the ones that have ROAS, between 0.1 to 2, and then highlight the ones that have like spend and no sales, highlight the keywords that have this, and then I would lower the ones that are higher, and I would just give it a step-by-step procedure. And I did one podcast a week, so I did about 55 or something in the whole year, something like that.
Nice.
And that's when I really, really, really blew up in the space. Everyone's like, Mina, everywhere we look, we see you talking about Amazon PPC. And I'm like, oh, hopefully it's good and you guys are learning. And at that point I had a brand, so there was no point for me to have a big brand. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you know what, man, it never hurts to be like a very popular guy. And not popular because like you're cool and or a troublemaker. You're popular because you help people as much as possible. Like people would message me, Mina, man, like I was like struggling in my business, like, and then I listened to 4 of your podcast episodes and everything is better now and all. And I'm like, shit, man, this is good. This is helping people. And so I'm like, it's never gonna hurt if I become popular that way. And towards the end of 2020. An aggregator hits me up. So an aggregator, for those who are listening, like, and not really sure, it's a company. They raised like hundreds of millions of dollars. So this company specifically raised $300 million, and they started buying Amazon brands. So they would buy like my company or other people's company. And so they said, listen, we just bought, like, we have a $200 million portfolio. So their brands were doing $200 million a year in revenue. And we need someone to train our in-house ads team because we're not paying agencies. I said, okay, cool. Here's what I know. Here's my experience. Here's what I can do. It's up to you if you want to hire me or not. Like, they're like, okay, cool. We need one thing from you. We need a test. Manage one of our brands, PPC. I said, okay, cool. So I'm managing one of their brands. And 4 months later, they're like, we hired these 6 other agencies, like top agencies in LA, New York, whatever, for Amazon. And it's like, you beat all of them out. And at the time, it's like, they were paying me good. It was me, and I wasn't doing much work because I had me and one employee. The employee was doing all of the work. And I beat these agencies out. I'm like, wow, man, like, I think this is something that I can like make a huge difference. Like, maybe I was a good supplement brand, like good, not really that good. Like, branding was okay, the product was pretty good, but like the flavor wasn't that good. So I was an okay supplement brand. I was amazing at this Amazon stuff. And so and I was amazing at it because I spent hundreds of thousands of my own money. Like, maybe it's not like I took 100,000 from my bank, but I would make like 100,000 in revenue and I would spend 100,000 on ads.
I completely understand.
I would make 300,000 in revenue. So I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I tested every single thing. And that's what made me different, is because I was constantly testing every possible situation and documenting
on your cost.
Whereas agencies, they're most agencies they're trying to get you in and show you some cool numbers, whatever, and keep you there as long as possible. Versus me, I was like, I'm a brand owner and I'm like, helping another brand owner, sort of thing. So that's kind of the difference. And from there, like, I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. I think definitely like I can make it work. And I was me and one employee or 2 employees, and then that was in like May of 2021. Now 2023, almost 2 years later, we are like 64 people and 130 something brands, and I've kept like the same level of like, we're gonna manage a brand the same way that we manage my brands. The reporting, every single day I want to report from you. Every single week I want you to show me week over week the performance in all of the metrics. I want you to explain what happened, what didn't go well, what went well. Show me the tests you're running. Anything that you're doing, send me screenshots to prove that it's being done correctly. Look at everything. Don't just look at my advertising. Did my competitors drop their price? I want to know. Am I gaining market share or losing market share? Send me my seasonality report. how's my inventory doing? Is it, and then we start noticing, oh, as your inventory drops below 30 days of inventory, your sales also start declining. And so I made the team like a full in-house Amazon division, and everything that I did for my brand, I'm like, okay, we're gonna apply it to everyone else, and that's it, man. Like that's how I went from like not knowing anything about business, e-commerce. Like I was just an engineer, really good engineer, and now it's like, we have, I think we're one of the fastest growing Amazon agencies in the space, and we're definitely on track to be the best in the world. Like I can see it in my mind. There's no shadow, like there's not even a shadow of a doubt that we're going to be the best. I'm pushing the pace, and we're going to be the best, not in competition with anyone else. I don't care, but we're just going to provide the absolute best service. And I would love if other agencies also, competed and tried to provide, because it's only going to raise the standard in the industry. Like it's only going to make it everyone's life better as a brand. So I'm just doing my best to, am I providing like a 10 out of 10 service? I want to provide a 15 out of 10 service. And then the 15 out of 10 becomes a 7 out of 10. Okay, I'm going to provide, push the pace even more. And that's what we're constantly doing and the thing is, I'm very still in touch because I have my brand. I'm invested in a brand now that does 900K a month in revenue. And so every day, like, I'm like, what's one thing that we can do better? What's one thing we can do better with this brand? And the beautiful thing is I have a team. They're very smart and they just execute. And once they execute, I'm like, make this into an SOP. We're going to do this forever for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I love that you shared the story in details, because you just showed that you're real and like you have a real background. I mean, it's your story. The thing is on our businesses and in our journey, when we I have several podcast people like you, I mean, entrepreneurs. And sometimes, especially in Amazon space, I had some conversation before, like, I haven't got anything about really Amazon. I mean, like, hey, how you got it? How you got fails most probably. You were like, nothing was there because I just repeated what my mentors were telling me, nothing else. So it was like, okay, so it's kind of luck plus right surroundings. So it's all correct. But there was no suffer behind, When you have this kind of suffer behind and hustle behind, I can say, because I'm the same, I had most of the failures than wins in the past. Even now I have a lot of fails, which is I'm just not often speaking about because nobody loves to hear about fails, but I'm open to speak every single time. So what I'm just saying, that you have a real story behind, and it shows that you have the real skills and background on your industry, and that's really amazing. And according to that, what you were all sharing, and where you are right now, how you scaling now brand for 900K a month, which is freaking wonderful. Well done, man. I really want to hear about hiring process for your agency. Okay, it's awesome. You had experience, you had skills, you have started getting attraction. That's cool. But I believe that really one of the biggest struggles in their businesses is to find out the right team members, find out the right people to work with. How you were able to grow your business and at the same time hiring the right people. You were firing a lot of people, or you were doing just the right decisions before hiring. How was the process that for you, and how is that going now?
Yeah, man. So, I learned a lot, after how many people we've hired. And I'll tell you, initially when I was doing it, it was very, very, very basic. I would go on onlinejobs.ph, jobrack.eu, places like that. And I would post a resume. People would come and I would actually interview them. And then I would have one bad interview. Then someone would sound good. I would hire them, I would try them, and there wasn't really any good system. So now the way that we do it, and we've been able to do it very successfully, is it's like a multi-step process. The first step is, I think of, there's, by the way, two things that I want to cover entirely when it comes to hiring. One of them is your brand for employees, right? So you have a brand for, clients, right? So I'm putting out content, all of this valuable content, and the clients, they look at me and they're like, oh man, I want to work with these guys. They know what they're doing. Now, equally, I'm putting out content in different areas to humanize Trivium and to show that it is also you want to work there. So I have two brands. I have one brand that's client facing, and then when I have one brand that is candidate and employee and prospect facing. And it's like it's a completely different sort of like funnel where we're talking about how we have a certain culture and how everyone is happy and how this and showcasing all of this stuff. So that's one thing, just to keep in the back of your mind. The same way that you're marketing for clients, or whatever you're marketing for, you should also have something that presents you as a company that's very desirable. Why do you think people are rushing to Google and Amazon to work there, and Microsoft and all these companies? They've and Tesla, they've put out this brand that like makes people want to come to them. And by the way, like this is a long-term thing, but trust me, like hiring costs a lot of money, and hiring good people is incredibly difficult, and it's 10 times nicer when the best people in the world come to you and not that you go searching for them. But anyways, on the hiring side, it's a funnel. So I start thinking about it exactly like my sales funnel. I'm gonna post in a certain number of places, same way you post on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. I'm posting on jobrag.eu, Rabota, this place, that place. I have all of these places where I'm posting, jobs to get leads. Then the actual post is my creative and my copy. Split test that to see how many leads you're getting for posts. So we used to have one post and then a second post that has a bigger salary range, and then another post that has like the numbers in big, and the package, the benefits package, qualify for boom, healthcare, gym, internet, computer, that kind of stuff. So we're constantly testing that. So now that's the first level. The second level is you're getting these candidates. How do you filter them in a way that only leaves the bottom of the filter being very high quality candidates, but also minimizes the amount of time that you or your team has to spend? So now the way that we do our people, it's the first step is like they do an HR interview where it's like a 15 minutes, like should we even bother? Second step, they get a test. They have to fill out the test. The test gets reviewed. If they do really good on that take-home test, then they have to do 2 live tests, one in English, one to check their communication because we're hiring overseas. Another one that's a live technical test. And then finally, they get the final test with the manager of the division that they're going to be working for. So because that's the person that's ultimately, but hopefully like, if we're hiring one person, the manager only has to do 5, interviews, and he's like, okay, one of those 5 people is really good. And we're tracking the metrics of everything. You can always improve your filter process. We're constantly saying, how can we change our test or add to our test or something, whatever we can do, so that like when you get to the bottom, that pool is like, I want to hire 3 out of those 5 people because they're all so amazing. You know what I mean? I don't want to get to a point where I get 10 candidates and I'm like, one of them is good, like that. One of them is, but and the other 9 are not good. I don't want to be there. I want to be, it's like, man, I have 3 candidates and like I can't even choose between them because of the hiring. So that's a constant, thing that you have to work for. So that's our hiring process for, and the second thing that I realized was, we're in an Amazon industry. If you guys don't know about Amazon is a very fast changing, immature industry, which means if you have experience from Amazon in 2019, 2018, it doesn't matter to me anymore, because everything that I could teach you in 30 days. Everything else that's working right now is all brand new. So I realized very early on, if we try and acquire talent, number one, we're gonna have an issue because the lack of the talent and the lack of like updated talent. And number two, I'm also competing with an aggregator. I'm gonna go tell someone, hey man, I'm gonna hire you, let's say for $2,000 a month. The aggregator says, we're gonna hire you for $3,500 and benefits, because they have hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm like, I'm fighting a war I can't win. And also I picked up on something. I picked up on the fact that people in the e-commerce space and Amazon and this stuff, the employees, they're so likely to start doing shady shit, like take clients on the side and all of this stuff that usually I mean, when I was an engineer, I didn't even think about having. If you told me, Mina, do you want a second job? I thought, oh, do you mean like go work as a bartender, at night, or be a bouncer, or work in a restaurant? That's what you think when it's a second job. Yeah, you never think, oh, like there's another company that I can do the same engineering for. You never think like that. And so we started getting some of these people that were like, oh yeah, I'm 100% working. And then you go and you have a meeting and you notice that they're working on another client. That's not you. And you're like, okay, like this is messed up. Like I can't trust you anymore. So we needed to tap into that old school corporate, mentality and build our people. So I created a plan. I took everything that I knew and I made a training. So in the first 7 days, you learn everything you need to know about Amazon and advertising. In the first 5 days, like 5 business days, seven working day, 7 week, like calendar days, and then second week you're going to practice the things that you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. So let's say like one of the things is creating campaigns in Facebook. You're going to spend 8 hours a day creating campaigns in Facebook. Maybe you're doing it with a flat file. You're going to spend 8 hours doing it in flat file. So now I'm telling you, close your eyes. Tell me how you're going to create a campaign. You're like, okay, but you log into the computer, you go top left, you click on create a campaign, like that. Like this is the level that I wanted to get them to, because I didn't want the actions to be what they're thinking about. I just want the strategy to be what they're thinking about. So we created this training, very, very robust. And now we started bringing in people who are incredibly intelligent in other industries, like engineering and finance. Bring them, sell them on a better life. You're going to be working from home. It's going to be flexible hours. I'm giving you more vacation time, more sick time, etc., etc. And then I'm like, okay, are you sold? Yes, I'm sold. We're going to teach you everything. And they come in, they're intelligent people, they learn it. And now they're like, because I didn't know anything about Amazon and I learned it and I was a lot better than people who were in marketing, because I'm like naturally more intelligent. Not like, I'm not saying I'm more intelligent than everyone, but just giving an example, like I was more intelligent than other people in marketing. So their experience, because they knew some stuff, couldn't beat me, because I was like just very intelligent. And as soon as I learned the stuff that they knew, I was able to innovate much more. So that's what I was trying to replicate. And so now we have success in, like, it's like a factory. We're building people. And if you're someone who relies on talent like I do, like I need, like media buyers, ad managers, PPC managers, because they're I need to continuously build them. I couldn't rely on like hiring someone and being dependent on them. I'm like, no, this is too much of a risk. So now I'm like, literally, if someone leaves, no problem. Have a good life. All is good. No bad blood. We'll bring someone else tomorrow and they'll be trained in 30 days and ready to go, And obviously, like, they'll shadow someone who's a senior and learn from their experience. And all the situations and scenarios that the seniors are experiencing, we document in a place. And so you can go and you can review everything that's ever happened and basically gain experience. Think about like biology, right? 300 years ago, we didn't know all of this stuff. Every time someone did something, they documented and it got put in a book. And now an 18-year-old, man or woman, boy or girl, they open up this book and they know how to do surgery, in a matter of a week, because all the surgeons documented this, appendix surgery process. All got combined, and in 1 week you can learn how to do a surgery. And you just shadow someone, practice a little bit on a doll or whatever, and you're good to go. And so that's the mindset I keep having, is like, everyone in my company is like the doctors that are contributing to the book of knowledge for our company, so that when we have someone new come in, like a med student, they're able to learn how to do surgery much faster, advanced surgery much faster than someone 300 years ago who needed 10 years of studying to learn how to do one surgery, sort of thing. So that's another thing that we're focused on. And then the final thing, so this causes a huge, creates a huge solution for the constant hiring of PPC managers. But then I realized one thing, and I think Eddie mentioned this, do you hire for talent or do you hire for experience?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you hire for potential? Do you hire for
I was
experience?
about
And
to
I
ask
learned
you
it
the
the
next
hard way.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned it the hard
Me
way.
the same, hard
But
way. Growing the talents.
you can hire for potential on the lower level things that can be built up. But if you need a manager, or if you need a marketer, or if you like something for your business, especially managers, especially when they have to manage people, you are like think about it this way. I brought in someone who was very experienced in social media, and I didn't have to train them up. They were 25% more, like they cost me 25% more than someone who had potential, but they produced 10 times more from day one. And so that's like what I learned. Also, I learned that like when you have people and you hire them for potential and you try and build them up to manage other people, you need so much experience in dealing with people and dealing with issues and solving problems and managing workloads and all of this stuff and staying on top of people, that this will really come from experience. And so what I found is any higher level position, it's so much more worth it to hire someone who's been there, done that. You're looking for someone who can manage your media buying team, but find an experienced media buying manager and someone who's been there, done that for 4 years, has been managing a media buying team at another agency. And then, but they're looking for a different opportunity because they didn't like, how the agency turned, or they became too toxic of an environment. You bring them on. They already have seen so many mistakes. They've already know what to do, and they immediately start making an impact. Versus like, I'm going to hire this person because he's very smart and has potential, and build them up to the potential. That whole potential thing only works at the low level and only works for one type of position for me, which is that PPC position, because we have such an insane amount of like training, and it's also just very difficult to hire for experience because of the reasons I explained before. But any other position, I'm like, okay, finance, I mean, we just hired a CFO. Used to be a CFO for 15 years for a $300 million company, and this guy came in. He's like, what is this? This is simple. Fix in 2 seconds. Everything is being fixed because he's been there, done that. Now imagine if I hired like someone who's good in finance for his potential, cost me $30,000 less. You think a CFO is not gonna be able to add $30,000 like this to my business to cover that difference in his salary? I mean, he's gonna add 10 times that easily. So that's now the way that I'm thinking about things. And for anything that's not that traditional like pipeline of like, you come in fresh, I train you, and now I have an advantage over all the other agencies because they're all looking for experienced PPC managers. I'm like, I'm not. I have a funnel, a nonstop funnel of people that I'm building. I'm building an army, but that's my army, like the front line.
How big is your team right now?
64, 65 people, something like that. But we're hiring about 4 PPC managers a month. So every single month, the recruiting team has a goal to hire 4 new PPC managers, so we can obviously keep up with the demand of the brands that want to work with us. But yeah, man, I mean, like really, if you're gonna hire, trust me on this. Pay more for the person who's been there, done that, because they will immediately add impact to your business.
That's true. I agree with you. Like, as well, it could be even still generate you some issues because he can say that. Like, this is one thing about media buying. What I learned for myself when you hire a media buyer, but he can say like, yeah, I was managing $100 million campaigns. Like it was XYZ, blah blah blah. But at the end, you find out later on when you speak to the owner of that agency or whatever, by somehow people from there, like he was just staying in the same room with people who were managing that stuff, and he's like saying in his portfolio that this is what I am done, like here is the screenshots, because he had access to that ad accounts and so on. So as well, it has to be really be careful. I mean, so like we given tasks about Shopify store, we given tasks like homework about like finding the product, what's you're gonna be doing in XYZ situation. So really to understand if he knows the stuff. But you're right, like buying the experience, like we are on that level where really we have to buy the experienced people. Before I was growing, I went super hard work, super hard way like you. I was taking people who were following me, who were like admire my journey and like, listen guys, like I'm hiring for the XYZ sales department, whatever. And like even some of my clients became my team members. Until now, they are like heads of the managers. One is head of the media buying manager. He's my ex-student in the past, back in 2018. Like my sales manager, he's my one of the first clients in the agency. And he's like, hey guys, can I work for you? I love your team. I love what you're doing. Like, hey, I have sales position. Would you like? Yeah. He became great in sales. Now he's the head of sales department, and he's my ex-client. It's weird, but yeah, this is like you at the beginning of the journey. Definitely, you don't have enough budget. You are just building yourself and your company. But right now, I mean, when you're on the level like at least a couple of six figures a month, you must already hire in the people who, because you have cash flow and you can pay more for the experience. And even corporate side, like older people, sometimes it's even great for the management positions. It depends of our industries. But definitely, man, I love what you shared. And like I would like a bit know as well a bit about the Amazon space. What, in your opinion, how it will be looks like with all this ChatGPT, OpenAI, all these innovations? You are like going deep in the Amazon space. How do you see and how do you feel this industry will grow in next 2-3 years? I'm not speaking about 10 years, because really it could make huge changes in the couple of months. So what you are seeing in next couple of years for Amazon space, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think two things. First thing, Amazon's going to continue to grow. There's nothing out there that is better than Amazon. Amazon has the best customer experience. If you're a shopper, if you're a user, I use Amazon. They've continuously made it even easier and better, because I can be on a thing, I can click on the product, I can click buy, and it says check, this is your address, this is your card, yep, swipe, done. So very, very, very quickly you can now buy, you can compare. They make the experience very, very seamless. So as a platform for users, it's the best platform out there, and no matter how much you can say like Shopify too, I'm sorry, but like in Shopify, if I need to return something, I have to call your customer service, all this shit. With Amazon, it takes 2 seconds on the app, and I can return anything I want, and I can.
On my experience, it was awful to return items to Amazon. Awful. I was buying some stuff for school of my son. It was disaster. I got my last return in 3 months. I mean, it was really never had such a disaster customer service experience. Just sorry, I'm just sharing my personal user experience with Amazon. I was shocked.
In USA?
It was in USA. I bought it in USA when we were traveling. It was disaster.
I don't know, man. Honestly, for me, so my sister is on my account and she buys like 15, 20 things a month and returns 18 of them. No problem. Like a system. She buys, checks it out, returns it. Buys, checks it out, returns it. So and within the 30-day window. So anyways, I think Amazon's going to continue to grow. I think it's the value that they bring is better than anything else, where they bring an incredible amount of traffic. Now, for what does that mean for us, like as brand owners? The opportunities is better than ever, but because of that happening and other brands noticing that, there's brands ever since COVID, the brands have been flooding Amazon. And so Amazon has become more and more competitive. And now it's more like when it used to be in the past, it's a lot easier to succeed on Amazon. Now it's really becoming like full marketing, where you're looking at the funnel, you're looking at, how your main image is, your price, your reviews, people are seeing you, right? You're getting impressions. What's your click-through rate? Are you constantly improving your click-through rate by having a better image, split testing your image versus your competitors' images? What makes them better? Why would people choose them, not you? Who's your audience actually on Amazon? How can you capture the largest amount, through selling the, value proposition in the main image? Getting more reviews, constantly split testing your price, the different deals that Amazon has going on, so you can get more and more visibility. And then from there, all the other elements in the listing to improve your conversion rate. And again, a big part of that is your branding, your imaging, your images and all of this stuff really need to speak to the customer and sell the image to the customer. You constantly have to keep an eye out on your price versus your competitor's price, since this is like a shelf essentially. So if you're $12 or let's say you're $35 and your competitor is, $22, they're going to be like, okay, why is there such a big difference? I'll just go for the cheaper one. there's nothing about this one that validates that it's $13 more, and so on. So it's becoming more of a place where you really have to think about your marketing as a full funnel of you're getting impressions, and that's by launching campaigns. You're constantly launching campaigns. You're constantly testing keywords. Each keyword is a funnel that you can evaluate. You can evaluate how many impressions you're getting from that keyword, how many sessions, what's your click-through rate for that individual keyword, what about your conversion rate for that keyword, and you're constantly trying to show up in different places on the page so that you can have the best performance on each of your keywords. So you're constantly getting more impressions, constantly improving your click-through rate, constantly improving your conversion rate, as well as launching more products and more products for that Amazon specific audience. So a lot of brands that we work for have now a division specifically designed because you already have a product that's working on Amazon. How do you maximize your revenue on Amazon as a sales channel? And so you can have a certain portfolio of products, and that's cool. That's like your portfolio. But what about like if this and this product that you generally wouldn't sell on D2C because the funnel just doesn't work, but Amazon shoppers want it because you see the search demand is very high for it, and you already have traffic. So all you need to do is maybe add a variation or advertise it under an existing listing, and now all of a sudden you're getting a ton of traffic, to your new product that addresses a need in the market. So that's the way brands really need to start thinking.
But in this case, all this user experience, and I could be a bad example. I just really could speak with the wrong customer service. So guys, don't get me wrong. I'm okay with Amazon. I just shared with some unlucky experience in my end. But what's the future you can see with all these integrations and all the real stuff which is happening, and it's making the user friendly? And as a marketer, for the marketers, what do you think? Finding the right keywords, this kind of testing, A/B testings and all the stuff is going to be easier, or it will be tougher in the next even year or two?
No, I think it's going to be easier. I think you're now going to become a professional copywriter. I think you're going to become, you're going to be able to research markets, and you can literally take a page of 10 products and then add everything, and tell ChatGPT to evaluate the value propositions of those different products. And if you were to create a new product or to promote a certain product, by combining all of these value propositions and excluding all of the negative experiences of these products, what would you say? And in a second, you can literally have your product, like the culmination of all of the good things and everything that people are buying, and none of the bad things, and highlight that you have none of the bad things. So I think it's going to make us easier. You're going to have 10 times more efficiency. And so now your focus, your time and energy, instead of being focused on, SEO and all of these little things, your focus is going to become one thing, in my opinion. How do you create a solution to a problem that's better than everyone else's solution? And that's what, selling on Amazon is going to evolve to. People are looking for a solution. When you type in, you're looking for an energy drink, you're looking for one solution. You want a delicious drink that gives you energy. So how do you create a solution to that problem that's better than everyone else's solution? When you're typing in anything like a credit card holder, you want, what are you looking for? The problem is you want your credit cards all in one place, protected, tight, easy to access, looks sleek. So you're like, that's the problem. So how do you create a better solution? How do you create a credit card holder that holds more credit cards and looks more sleek and protects your cards more and gives you better access and all of this stuff? And so that's where the world is shifting to. I think the copy is great. You're going to be able to split test a lot of different copy. You're going to be able now with Midjourney and ChatGPT, you can literally have a feedback loop of ChatGPT analyzing products, coming up with prompts, feeding Midjourney creating creatives, you split testing creatives, using crowdsourcing feedback, using people, hey, which one would you click on, this one or that one, and create this feedback loop. So all of the things that were taking us, and this is how the world evolves, right? Calling your friends and family used to write a paper mail, and it would take days to get an answer. Now it's 2 seconds on the phone. Video is the same thing. Is video chat really like exploded. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to be able to create creatives and optimize copy and do all of this stuff at a fraction of the time. So your focus can be one thing: innovation, to create a better solution to the problems existing right now. And that's why our phones, they used to be big and now they're small, because the solution to the problem was something that calls. Then we were like, okay, but we want it smaller. Okay, but we want it to look better. Okay, but we wanted to do more things, to play video, to play music, etc., etc., etc. And we just kept creating better solutions to the same problem. And that's where I think the world's evolving to. And Amazon is just a marketplace. And if you understand how the marketplace works, it's people that have a problem that type in keywords and they have demand for a certain solution, and you're addressing that problem and creating a solution. And then all of the things in between, which is how do you maximize the most amount of people who are seeing your product to convert into a session to come into your listing, and the most number of sessions to convert into a sale, by changing all of the different levers. And now the beautiful thing is, with the AI technology, changing levers and testing things, it's no longer going to be how do you do it, it's going to be what should we do. Because you're going to be, I want to do, like, I saw someone just build an entire Slack bot using ChatGPT. Like, he told it what it wants the Slack bot to do, and ChatGPT created a Slack bot that now can do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, that's insane. So now it's no longer how do you do it, it's like what should we do, what's the problem that
what should we ask, and which way we have to ask to get the solution. I agree with you, bro. Like, we're running out of time. I just want to ask Mina one last question, which is I'm asking everyone, and hopefully, Mina, you will be okay with that. Sounds good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so I would like to ask you a question about what would you choose, the journey or end result?
The journey, of course. The best way to win right now is to do what you like right now. And of course, sometimes there's going to be a little bit of delayed gratification, but you know the quote, like the guy who enjoys walking will always beat the guy who is looking forward to the destination or whatever. Because I love walking, so I can do this forever. Like I already won. I'm already doing what I love. And that's how I try and build my life. How can I build my dream day right now, and I can repeat it forever? And that's it. That's the destination. The destination I already arrived, because that was the destination, is to have the journey be like the dream life every day.
Listen, like I asked that question already several people out there, maybe like really over 40 people, and everyone like having their own perspective. Majority of the people, it's not a secret, majority of the people are saying the journey. But what I love by asking this question, everyone has their own angle of explanation, and you had really like unique angle about this metaphor with walking. It's exactly like your way, how you understand the journey, your way, how you see it. And I love it to continue asking this question, because I always learn something new, so some new analogies and understanding of this kind of answers from different people out there, since I'm speaking to several entrepreneurs. Listen, like Mina, we both in e-commerce. It's Shopify, Amazon, eBay, Etsy. It doesn't matter. What I'm really happy about, that we are in the industry which is always growing, always, no fluctuation. It's just like growing, it's moving forward, and I'm really grateful to the universe that I'm able to be here, and you are there as well, went through your journey. And I really wish like all this industry just the best luck and best of success, because this is like the future, this future which is already happening now. And for sure, I will share your details, your company details in our podcast, in the bio. So guys, you'll have all the links there. But maybe you have something to offer to the audience who are listening to us till the end. Maybe like you will give them some benefit, or free audit or call or something like that.
Yeah, we do a full free audit and strategy. So it's about a 45-minute video. We get access into your account. We evaluate everything. We tell you exactly how how to fix everything as well. So it's not like here's everything that's wrong. It's like here's how you can improve everything and why we think so. So if you don't have portfolios, why we suggest portfolios. If you have too many keywords in a campaign, we show you why there are too many, and we show you that some of them are not getting impressions and how to pause and relaunch in their own campaigns, and how to rank organically for certain keywords you're ranking low for. Everything, at 45 minutes, really a full strategy, and an audit at the same time. Just go to the website, triviumco.com, triviumco.com, and you'll see get a free audit, fill out the form, and then the team will be on it. And it's free, but it's very, very, very valuable. It costs me money. So, every time someone fills it out, I have to pay, but it's kind of like a gift to the world. And in exchange, I know that the value will come back.
Awesome, man. Listen, guys, use that. We will have a link in the bio, and definitely if you want to be in Amazon, you already in Amazon space, definitely any kind of brand who is on Shopify or Etsy or Amazon, they go, if they want to scale, they're supposed to go on all the platforms out there where it's going to be logically being. So if you're not on Amazon yet, but you have an existing brand in Shopify, it's a time for you to make a decision about expand with the right people next to you, that's for sure. And I know Mina personally. We met really already several times, and I know how he is educated and dedicated with his team. And what's happening on his end, it's similar happening on my end. We have similar trainings with the same people out there, and I can tell you that I really trust him. And if you wanna understand Amazon a bit better, just have this call and understand if that is suitable for you or no. It's not about sell, it's about understanding if it's a right fit for you or a right fit for them to have you on the board. Anyway, Mina, I appreciate for being with us and wish you all the luck, and definitely we can record another podcast in the future in matter of couple of months, whatever, because I see that a lot of things can be open about this industry, and you are a great storyteller, so which just means it's interesting to hear. So guys, if you would like to hear more in the future, if you have specific questions in Amazon, leave them in the comments, and definitely I will consider how we can do another recording. Thank you so much for being and listening to us. Thank you so much for your time, Mina, and have a great day. Take care.
Take it easy, man. Thank you for having me.